The wheel of the year is ever turning. And so after Imbolc and Ostara, it is time for Beltane once again. The celebration of Beltane begins with the Walpurgis night in the night before May 1st in the Northern Hemisphere. It is the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice and the promise of the rich abundance that summer brings every year. Beltane is the Sabbat that celebrates fertility and abundance. And so today I want to create an altar that is reflecting this vibrant energy together with you. I hope you get inspired to create your own sacred space, whether if it is a whole place dedicated to your practice or just a little corner of your home. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so what symbols can you include on your Beltane altar to really represent this vibrant energy of the year? And as always, I encourage you to let nature inspire you. So first, go outside and take a look around your surroundings. Really see what nature has to offer right now in your local area and just soak in nature right now with all of your senses. So what can you see? What colors do you see? What plants are growing? What animals do you encounter on your journey? But also what can you hear and smell, and what feelings come up for you as you are connecting to this energy of the year in nature? And then just see what symbols are calling to you. So really get inspired by nature. And this may shift from year to year, and I found that the more I celebrated the Wheel of the Year, the more I kind of understood nature, the more I kind of understood the energies behind the Sabbats, and the more I kind of understood the energies of nature throughout the Wheel of the Year. So don't feel like you need to stick to a certain symbolism just because it is traditional, or because you heard it, or you found that it was like relevant last year, because nature evolves. And I always say that yes, the Wheel of the Year is ever spinning and turning, but you may see a different bird showing up in your garden like this year, and it was not here last year, or there may be a new kind of flower that is suddenly growing in your garden. So just really be open. And so what I found is that the more I connected with the Wheel of the Year and the different energies of the year, the symbols that I related to them got much more meaningful and they got more nuanced. So just be open and see what symbols are calling to you, but know that this may vary from year to year. Okay, so with that being said, what symbols are connected to Beltane? First of all, it's the cuckoo. And the cuckoo is the announcer of this divine marriage. And by the way, I have a whole witch's guide about Beltane, so you can watch it right here after watching this video, where I go into more detail about like the folklore of Beltane. But the cuckoo is announcing the divine marriage between the sun god and the flower goddess. So it is announcing the marriage between heaven and earth. Next, you can include everything that represents fertility. So think about seeds or a cauldron, or maybe it is flowers to you, but also honey or fertility goddesses are really cool to include on your Beltane altar. But also a flower wreath. A flower wreath is a really beautiful symbol that is connected to Beltane, because in the past young women were dancing around the maypole and they had like flower wreaths on their head, and yeah, they were just laughing and enjoying Beltane. So another symbol that is highly connected to Beltane is the horseshoe, and the horseshoe in general represents good luck but also fertility. And the Celts believed that when Odin was riding with his horse over soil, that everything would blossom and grow again. So in the past it was a sign of good luck if you had like a horse running over your grass, basically, because it was believed to bring good luck and fertility. Then this year I also started to add the bee to the symbols that I highly connect to Beltane. And did you know that bees are actually dancing to show their other bee friends where food sources are? So this is what I learned recently, and this is why I connect the bee so much to Beltane from now on. And because the bees are usually the first messengers to really announce this vibrant energy of the year. Like whenever the first flower is blossoming, there is a bee, and so bees are a really beautiful symbol for Beltane as well. And we already talked about the cuckoo, but you could go a step further and really integrate anything into your altar that represents this divine union between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, between the flower goddess and the sun god. And so maybe for the divine feminine energy, you want to include a wreath, like a flower wreath or a cauldron or a cup. And for the divine masculine, you may want to include a seed, like an acorn seed or something like that, as well as a wand. And we will do a really cute maypole wand DIY later, so keep watching if you need some inspiration on that. And in Germany we also highly connect the cow, and in specific a cow adorned with flowers and bells to Beltane, because right now the cows are being brought back to their pastures, into nature basically, before they return to their stables once it is time for winter again. But again, really be open to what symbols show up for you this year. Maybe it's a butterfly, maybe it's a specific kind of flower, maybe it's something completely different. So just be open and have fun decorating your altar, because this is what it's all about. It should be fun, it should really encourage you to do your practice and just feel good and like powerful when looking at it, and also more aligned with this energy of the year. So with that being said, there are some seasonal colors that you can also like use on your altar setup to even more represent this time of the year. So the traditional colors of Beltane are red and of course green, but also white. And I personally highly connect the colorful dresses worn by the flowers that are blooming right now. So maybe it's a deep blue or a really vibrant purple or pink. All of these colors really represent Beltane to me. But it is also a really bright yellow of all the canola fields that I can see right now in nature, and it's like these really bright yellow oceans of flowers. But also this really beautiful warm and golden color of sunlit dandelions. And then there is also this really dark blue purple color of the bluebells that are showing up right now everywhere. And all of these colors really just contribute to the magic of the celebration of the Sabbat. So again, just have fun when you decide what colors you want to include on your altar setup, and just get inspired by what you see in your surroundings. If you want to work with deities, then this is something that you can, of course, integrate into your altar setup as well. And there are many different deities connected to Beltane, but for example, you could decide to work with the Greek goddess Artemis, or the Roman goddess Flora, or also the Irish goddess Ain. And I'm so sorry if I mispronounced any of these names. But yeah, working with a deity and choosing symbolism and colors and really anything that you connect to this deity is a really cool way to, again, further deepen the connection to this time of the year. Now, I have been really working a lot with Hecate, and this is kind of the goddess that was speaking to me the most recently. So I do not really have a goddess that I want to work with for Beltane right now, because I really want to strengthen my relationship with Hecate first. But I decided to just really go with the symbolism of the divine feminine on my altar setup. And so I will choose a lot of symbols that represent fertility, like a cauldron or a little statue or crystals, or like anything that I connect to the divine feminine. I also have a really magical necklace. I have no idea where it came from, but it is showing a goddess, a fertility goddess. It does not want to be seen by anyone. Like, this is a clear instruction that I'm not allowed to show it, but I'm having this necklace and I'm holding it so dear. It's just everywhere. Like, I moved so many times, but it never got lost. So I just know that this kind of necklace really wants to stay with me. And this is something that I will include into my altar setup to really represent the energy of the divine goddess, like of the divine feminine, of fertility this year for Beltane. Now, if you have been watching me for a while, then you know that I just love crafting my own altar decoration and my own witchy tools for my practice. So I thought I'm going to share 3 super simple altar decor ideas with you so that you can create your most magical Beltane altar this year. And the first idea that I want to share with you is a beautiful magical horseshoe adorned with flowers. And the horseshoe to me really represents this vibrant energy and good luck and just freedom, right? Think about a horse just running over a meadow. And I didn't have a real horseshoe at home, because whenever I see them at a thrift store or a flea market, I think I don't need them. And then one day later I need one in a craft like I did today. But so I decided to create my own horseshoe shape. And I used some wire for this, and then I wrapped everything in red ribbon and also white lace, because the original idea was to simply put the flowers into the lace, but this was not working. The roses were way too big, so I ended up gluing everything on the horseshoe shape with my hot glue gun, and this worked really well. I just love how it turns out. It really represents abundance and the divine feminine to me. Like, just roses in general are such beautiful representations of the womb, of the divine goddess, of the divine feminine. So really the energy that I wanted to include and represent with my altar this year. Now, another really cool and cute idea that you can do this year for your Beltane celebrations is to create and craft your own Beltane tarot card that you can then display on your Beltane altar. And no, you don't have to be good at drawing. I'm not perfect at it either. Just have fun. Just see what wants to be put on the paper, see what colors are resonating with you, and what flowers, what animals, and maybe it's just colors for you. I also chose a really simple pattern because I just really love the simplicity of tarot cards, so this is what I chose. But again, just have fun with it, and I love how this card turned out, so I'm definitely going to use it in the future as well. And the last idea that I want to share with you is a mini maypole adorned with ribbons in the colors related to Beltane. Now this is a wonderful addition to your altar because traditionally the pole represents the sun god, while the ribbons and the flowers represent the flower goddess. So the maypole really is a symbol of their divine union, of the divine marriage between the sun god and the flower goddess. And this is so simple. I simply glued all the ribbons on top of the wooden stick that I had, and I then put some moss on top to kind of represent the flowers that I usually put on a maypole, on the top of the maypole. And I just love how it turned out. It is really the energy that I want to represent on my altar, because I can feel that I'm out of balance when it comes to my masculine and feminine energy. So I'm trying to balance these two energies right now, and I just really love how it turned out. It's so cute. And I then decorated my altar with everything that I had. I decided to do something different this year because I don't have a lot of space. I'm using this really beautiful golden wooden etagere. I put some herbs that I dried there that I want to work with in the future. And then I simply put all the leftover roses on this wooden golden etagere. I just love, again, roses because they represent the divine feminine and femininity and abundance, and I just really love to work with flowers on my altar setup. I had this really cute little goddess statue and this beautiful chalice, so I just had fun decorating. This is the necklace that does not want to be shown, but I'm going to work with it. And yeah, let me know what would definitely be on your altar. Alright, magical one, thank you so much if you watched until here, and I really hope this video can give you some inspiration for your own Beltane celebrations. Again, I have a whole video about Beltane, a witch's guide. I will link it up here and down below, so make sure you watch it right now after this one, so you're really prepared for the energies that are coming up around Beltane, which is basically in 5 days, 4 and 5 days. So again, I really hope you enjoyed it, and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, that you like this video, and that you send it to someone who may need some altar decoration inspiration for Beltane. It really helps me out a lot. And yeah, I will see you again next week with a really special video, so make sure you are subscribed to not miss out on that, and I will see you again next week. So I really hope you have a beautiful, magical week, and see you then. Bye bye.